Phoenix, KO, Clove, and Sage. Each of these agents have an ult that grants an extra life, a do-over, one last chance to make an impact and win a round for your team. But to resurrect in a tactical shooter where good fundamentals and solid spacing are key, abilities like these are nuts. Now, that begs the question, what would happen if you took every resurrect in the game and crammed them all into one team comp? Well, against the 5th best team on the planet in DRX, they farmed. Talon's Necromancers dominated on this attack half 9-3 and embarrassed some of the world's best. But I mean, were they just chaining res after res, turning every round into a 6 or 7 versus 5? Is a game plan like this really that broken? Well, in this video, I'm breaking down Talon's 9 lives cat comp and exposing its secret to success to the world.
But Teets, Phoenix sucks eggs. His ult is cheap, but why him? His buffs aren't even out yet.
I'm not in the mood for this. Here, Jimmy, let me introduce you and all you guys to Poly AI, and you can just ask Phoenix yourself. Poly AI unleashes your creativity by allowing you to create your very own chatbot, including personality and voice. Meaning, your personal AI can be anyone you can imagine. Here, I created Phoenix to distract Jimmy so I could finish his breakdown.
Hey Phoenix, why is your ultimate ability so good?
Well, you see, my ultimate is like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I can take damage, heal myself, and become invincible for a short period of time. It's like I'm invincible in both offense and defense. And who doesn't love a bit of extra health and immortality?
Straight from the horse's mouth. And not only that, but Poly AI can also help you improve your social skills as you learn to talk to various amounts of people. There's millions of different combinations of bots to choose from, so this is the ultimate social app. With over 10 million downloads worldwide, Poly AI is a must-have app that you can download with my link. I worked something out with them to get you a ton of premium features. Just simply enter my code TEETS in the app, and bam, you've just unlocked a bunch of premium features. So if you're interested in unlocking your creative potential with Poly AI, go click that. Thank you, Poly AI, for sponsoring and supporting this channel. Now, when I initially watched Talon bust this comp out, it was love at first sight. I thought it was so cool that Talon just picked a bunch of agents that all revolved around the theme of never dying. I actually thought they could have fully committed to the meme and picked Skye over Sova for the extra heal. I mean, how do you kill something that can't be killed? There's a possibility that this team has 9 lives in one round, like a cat. But as time went on, Talon failed to find much more success with this comp after this game. Why? Well, after the world watched DRX get beat down by these zombies, teams figured out how to counter a comp without a true spacemaker. Now, with 4 different flavors of res, you would think that a good defensive game plan would be to deny these ult orbs and stop Talon from having constant extra lives, right? Wrong. The best way to ruin this comp is to deny mid control. Think about it. Talon have flashes, reconnaissance, stall. The one major tool that they're missing is someone to close the gap. If these 5 decide to run it down A or B, one well-placed Molly or Hungry Odin can destroy their execute. Normally, a Jet or Raze can bypass these things, but they're running Phoenix. But by splitting either side through mid, you then no longer have to worry about satcheling to switch to clear boat and wrapping B, or dashing to Jenny to close the door and wrapping A. Meaning, DRX's plan should be to fight mid and have 2 solid side anchors on either site to stuff a rush, one being an Odin. But, mid seems to be emptier than Reyna main's brain. Instead, DRX are master baiters.
What did he say?
On B, Sova's going to bait for Jet, and on Cat, Omen is baiting for KO, and they're retaking A with this long trip. And now Talon understand their comp's weakness and plan on splitting A in their 4-1. The barriers drop, and KO yeets his knife into the air. The defense take control of both extremities, which Talon don't need that badly. Clove smokes Cat, and Cruz has cleared bot mid with a recon. Governor's knife landing shortly after. Just like that, the team that desperately needs mid has it with just 2 rechargeables. That went off without a hitch, and now it's time for step 2. Sova walks up the fridge and activates his Aldrone. But this little robot is just a distraction for his teammates to burst through tree.
So here comes the push-up Cat. Loxy ready to play anti-flash now. It's Stink, but does get taken down. Surf still going to be relatively healthy there. So 3 does get tagged up even more.
The Frenzy couldn't get one. I mean, at least it did a lot of damage. Oh, yeah, that's right. After the Paranoia eviscerated this A-split, Cruz initiated Plan B, which was Go B. Yeah, his drone was meant to be a distraction to bait over rotates, but it never got contested. Mid is free. So the entire offense is charging up and through market. But how are they going to break up this cross?
Going to be hearing all of this rotating. As wall gets used, pop flash out. Buzz lingering back within B main, and Bane quickly dealt with Buzz now though, making his presence known, able to find the first one. Looks for the re-challenge, but he's running out of bullets, running out of time, and Cruz will be able to come up with the kill. Now a 2v4. Ascent swing out in front of that one, and Cruz able to collect damn near both of them, but it's going to be Jit Boys who's able to find the final.
Talon has overcome their comp's biggest weakness and took mid without an issue. With it, they pivoted from A to B and were able to run all over the map. Against this comp, you can't let that happen. DRX need to contest mid. On the following round, Talon pulled out one of the riskiest anti-ecos I've ever seen. Only 2 people bought up, while the rest saved ghosts. If I were the only person on my team buying up in ranked, I'd lose my mind. If one of those 2 people go down and the opposition picks them up, you've turned a free win into a loss. Probably 2. Now, Fnatic's notorious for buying like this, but they at least buy 3 rifles. But wait, it gets even riskier. In their 2-3 default, Talon's Owl Drone was over on B, and there's a shotgun on A with 3 people to back him up.
You don't actually peek through the one way when you have the gun advantage.
Dissipating. Give the first one taken down. Now Buzz able to offer up a little bit of damage before getting taken out.
Over on Talon, so as these rounds go by, DRX is going to want clean headshots.
Flashback, able to find another here.
Jitboy's elevated position was too much for the Classics to handle, and they've been rewarded with one of the strongest bonuses I've ever watched. But it won't be that easy to convert, because now it's time for the Odin? DRX, where's your Odin? And your mid players. It's just empty again? Oh my god. I mean, I get it. At first glance, most people think that Talon's game plan revolves around eating a bunch of orbs and constantly having ult online to make every round a 6 or even 7 versus 5. Not only that, but keep in mind, one big plus to running Sage on this map is that you can wall herself up into the B windows. Don't you think it's a good idea to spam her before she gets into position? The absolute best way in all of Valorant to fight for this space is to buy this 3200 credit monster. For some reason, the wall to B main is made out of mush, and it's extremely dangerous to move up this lane when there's a Sova on the other side. Between his recons that give him wall hacks, shocks that block the orb, and bullets, if you want to take this space, you're going to take a lot of damage. What's so funny, Jimmy?
Well, Talon have a lot of heals. The Odin isn't going to do much.
Jimmy, the heals aren't going to do anything when you're getting lasered through a brick wall. This thing is even a menace on A. Maybe even worse. Spam tiles from tree. Through these walls if you're being split on. Destroy the switch hitter, the planter, or from heaven you can beam anyone going up Jenny or someone camping in hell. Oh, and by the way, I'm dedicating an entire video to this gun on this map. It's carried tier 1 teams before. Sub so you don't miss it. This gun is just too good on this map, especially against a comp that cannot punish you for using it. Normally, a jet could flash and dash up on you, forcing you to look away from the wall, but not these guys. So if DRX aren't going to abuse the Odin or contest mid, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Instead, their plan for the first full buy is to fight the mains and have Cypher bounce between sites while his spy cam holds mid, which is kind of cool. It's positioned in such a way that the attackers have to move down mid pretty deep to break this thing. Until it's broken, the defense can have strong site holds against the no space making necromancers. But they're going to go up mid. They did it on pistol, and they know that they have to. Talon's ridiculously strong bonus opens up with a trade of darts, a recon to clear cat, and a shock to give Jet the angle on B. DRX have also secured a main behind a dark cover and eventual double knife from both teams. With this bottom mid smoke, Talon have once again secured a crucial part of the map by basically going on a stroll. With Cat fully flushed out, Mako blocks it off with a one-way, which is totally fine. The attackers want to push deep into mid and make sure that they have the freedom to rotate where and how they please. And while they're waiting for the Archer smoke to fade, Bane wants more information after losing all of mid. He drones down B main, spots Surf, who prevents a peek by slowing the run out. She got tagged, but right now, each team has their own half of the map. But Talon wanted to push mid even harder and really spread the defense out. Clove smokes deep, and Phoenix ventures deeper, spotting Cypher's cam. Him breaking that is the worst case scenario for DRX, as now they are forced to spread out and watch every lane, with question marks being created in middle. Talon now have the green light to do whatever they want. Their mid-round call is to...
All right, Magic Conch, what do we do now?
The offense still have a bit before the rechargeables are back, but once they're up, KO knifes and Sova darts into tree behind a Clove smoke inside. Sova then drones up A main, which all has Buzz biting, but Talon are going B.
Spotting out Foxy9. Again, it's going to be a market cut in here from the side of Talon. As a flame wall goes up. Now towards main, flashback here at Alley, waiting for the first, and he's able to find it, finds the second. Should poison ban, Buzz gonna be taken down, Cyber Cage now raised up as Governor just works his way down into the site where the plant can come through.
Phoenix, what are you walling? Okay, well, after an amazing default, Talon are somehow down a member with Sova still on his way back from vacation. One of these two has to go big.
Who's coming up, pulling up from behind. We'll be able to
left.
make sure that there is no flank coming through B main. Like the wall up, but it's a big greedy Surf still wins that against Flashback.
Yeah, he's just up.
3 versus 3, but this kill was way worse than it seems for DRX. The only realistic option they have left is to all funnel out through market, and Cruz is finally back. Breaking up this triple crossfire is going to be tough.
3v3, full approach here from market. Pop flash sent out. Governor on the swing, able to find one as Foxy9 gets taken down. Recon pings out two. Governor is anticipating the swing. Takes Buzz's head off, and even if Mako could clutch this out, there's already so much damage dealt. Spots one, shots down onto Surf, put him at 4 HP, but he just cannot finish the job. Push out, Mako with a decent timing will just get one of those additional weapons out of their hands. Just for a little bit more.
Mid being so free is killing DRX, allowing Talon to pivot back and forth and have the defense constantly guessing. If they don't want to get embarrassed, mid cannot be so easy to take. Talon played DRX's following eco to perfection. They started the round by playing back and spawn and gave the defense a chance to come to them. Normally, when defenses are on an eco, they'll make an aggressive play to disrupt the attacker's game plan and catch them off guard. Then they can pick up the fallen weapons and convert a round that statistically they should lose. So here, Mako saved a Vandal from the previous round, tossed it to his duelist, and they tried to set her up. At the start of the round, Buzz peeked alongside Cypher's cam, it didn't see anything, and then Bane activated his All-Drone, clearing a path for Buzz to push forward and look for first blood.
Dan making his presence known, takes that dart. Buzz still suspecting that there's going to be another player, but Surf just goes for the quick ADS.
Buzz went down, Bane picked up the rifle, and it was his turn to make a play. He walked down mid, didn't spot a soul, while in the meantime, the offense gathered up into B main, and Bane came to contest to stay proactive.
Still rotate if they needed to, but it's not going to look like it on this one.
Oh, and Drone's going to get the tag here onto Bane. He's got no choice but to fight. He's able to come away with one before getting taken down. Boys finding that elimination.
Talon handled the save Vandal really well by following the buddy system and denied it from getting too much value. But the most important part is that throughout this eco, Jitboys farmed, giving the offense half of their possible reses online. With this many extra lives active, Talon can brute force their way through any choke point. So, it is really important that DRX invest in an Odin to slow them down. Just why? The only thing keeping Ascent from being an S-tier godly map for me is that every wall is cracker thin. You should have a dedicated Odin player on this map. But instead, we're buying an op? Really? Against 4 flashes? Which is better against this comp? Option A or option B? And they're not even contesting mid. DRX are positioned in a standard 2-1-2, contesting both wings, the parts of the map that Talon don't need as bad. Speaking of, they have 3 players ready to gun it up mid with both of their reses. That's how important this part of the map is to this team. They're prepared to throw endless amounts of bodies at it until it's theirs. The round starts and Talon launches a knife for catwalk, smokes arches, and darts above. Normally, when defaulting mid on Ascent, you want to smoke one side, take space in the other. So to the defense, utility being used like this signals that cat pressure is on its way, and flashback is rotating accordingly. But that's what Talon wants them to think. The 3 musketeers move into their own smoke together, advance, and are ready to split B. Now, while Talon was passing go and collecting free map control, Bane reconned outside of B main, allowing Buzz to creep up and get posted on the line. In response to someone potentially being pushed up, Cruz droned from far back, caught Sova and Jet out of position, allowing KO to rip his extra life and
Started
go.
up. Here comes the push from market once again. Talon is continuing to push this angle. The first opening op shot from Buzz does not ring true. Bane back ramp, trying to drag across, but Jitboys just keep plus forwarding. Buzz into the final one, but there's the ult coming into play. Van gonna be taking down the push forward. Buzz coming up with a third, just desperately trying to keep them in this game, but now Jitboys with that elimination is right back into it.
I told you, the op wasn't as strong. And for a couple reasons. First, Buzz was forced to hold this tight angle because of all the flashes Talon has. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Look at Talon's spacing during this execute. As they trudge through market, notice how KO is the one leading the charge. Even even if this op shot landed, Talon could just pick him back up and keep going. The op would then be forced back onto the next angle, and the offense would keep pushing without losing a soul, which is exactly what happened. Pay close attention to the next part of this execute. As Kao's no command expires, Clove takes his place and ends up tanking a hit, immediately popping their res. This perfectly spaced game of Leapfrog has turned a potential 2 versus 1 into a 3 versus 1.
Spike planted.
Push out of the smoke, spots one, but Cruz hangs back.
Against another one of DRX's ecos, just look at how far back the offense played at the start of the round. Buzz's Bladestorm is not something to mess with, so by starting this far back, he'll eventually reveal himself when trying to make a play, and the offense can simply avoid him. But he never came out. Another option on low buys is that teams will often over-rotate and gamble to try and contest the offense as early as possible. So to counter, Sova droned up B main, and Phoenix burned his run-it-back up mid, emulating a B-split. By burning, physically, one of their extra lives, this was an extremely safe way to sell a fake and force A open for themselves. Plus, by giving Sage the plants, they have another res going to round 7. But first, DRX take a timeout to try and figure out how to deal with all these bodies. Coach, what should we do? There's too many of them! Coming out of the timeout, DRX still don't have an Odin, but still have an op. On the bright side, I think the defense finally realized that they need to contest mid more as the op has migrated over towards Catwalk. And now Talon, on the other hand, think that because DRX just came out of a timeout, they're thinking that the offense are going to push out and catch Talon off guard while they're still thinking about their new game plan. So, they're starting far back again, but are taking mid, kinda. The defense make the first move across the map with a one-way, knife, and Buzz peeks down tiles. In the first 10 seconds, the defense control most of the map, while Talon wait back, anticipating something aggressive. A few extra seconds pass by, and nothing happens. So the offense lay out their mid default. Smoke, recon, knife, flash. No one following it up though, but that's okay. With the amount of defaulting Talon have done in mid throughout this game, this utility should condition the defense that there are players in this area, but there isn't. The next step in their game plan is to get Phoenix posted on this line with his op and punish the defense for pushing up B main. Since DRX lost so much of the map in mid, the offense are predicting that they will get proactive somewhere else, which Bane has done with his drone. Cruz responds with one of his own, Bane prepared a flash, the drone gets shattered, and Phoenix whips out a curveball. With these question marks generated in mid, and now B main, Talon are hoping that this is enough pressure to allow them to do something that this comp should never be able to do. All go through one choke point. A is their destination, but DRX have players here, one being Cypher. How are the offense going to get on site?
Well, Tripwire is here, so there is a little bit of hope for DRX.
Seconds left.
Doesn't get the ping though. Buzz flashed out, forced back, the cloud burst, the swing out, the shot, it whips. The Chip Boys does not. Collects the kill, the op once again dead on the floor. Vulnerable thrown into hell just
Let me get this straight. Talon suck eggs at getting through this choke point, so when they try to muscle their way in, the defense hides in a bunch of smokes, like a bunch of weenies. Don't get me wrong, Talon did great to get on the site. The recon a knife, smokes and slows for heaven, but the coolest part was this sage wall that allows Talon to run out without getting spammed, clear close with the cover, and leak out of either site and swarm A. But imagine if we didn't have an op here, but instead an Odin. It would just tear through this door smoke as soon as this trip got snapped. I mean, to do this wall I just talked about, Sage has to physically get inside the smoke. So why not spam it? The offense would get turned into Swiss cheese. None of them can get through this gap reliably. So why let them? Regardless, DRX are only down a player, and their last resort is to flood in while Talon are busy trying to plant.
shots up through the floor, boys, just trying to make a connection. Surf, I thought he was blind, but he still comes up with a kill. Flashback, take it down, man. The op, it pays off, finds one now. Once again, it is Mako on its lonesome, this time in a 1v4.
I mean, you have to. It's 0-6.
Okay.
Okay, now I know when you guys clicked on this video, you were ready to watch res after res after res and witness DRX try to kill like 80 people in order to win a round. So here it is. On round 8, Talon ended up splitting B, but Phoenix and Clove ended up with most of the kills plus the plant, which means their extra lives are charged up and ready to shut out this game. Their plan is similar to before. Phoenix is going to work his op in mid, see if he can find a defender peeking out for info, and then eventually split a site. Now DRX still don't have an Odin, or are contesting fucking mid. Ascent is a defender-sided map, and DRX are letting Talon have every ingredient they need to dominate on this half. No spam to deal with, free mid control, you name it, Talon have it. Whatever. There's a ton of reses online, and I want to see DRX get dumpstered. The defense start the round by taking both mids early, as Ban jumps into a cat peek. He spots nothing, it gets smoked, a knife and recon land to clear out the entirety of mid, and he jumps into that next. In the meantime, Sova and Jet have pushed deeper down B main than we've seen all game. But against double flashes, a ton of recon, and a knife, this crutch isn't going to find any value. Back in mid, the cat smoke phase, and Phoenix wants to take a closer look.
Shock darts.
Mako holding. Oh, the shot goes right over his head. Breathe a sigh of relief as he's able to get away from that one. Buzz, however, having to clear the drone, back away.
Immense amounts of pressure was made on Catwalk, which temporarily drags Foxy over, and Cruz recognizes that the op could be pushed up B, so his drone pushed him back. But now, with this positioning, and no trap wires having to be snapped, Ban understands that he can find the player holding top mid, and then head into a B split.
Foxy drifting around the side, though. Does he just try swing into this? Ban holding the angle, and Foxy will come up with a kill, spotting just enough to be able to take him down, but now Governor striking through Market. Oh, what? Just getting Bane as well. Right through the wall, Governor with a third, Foxy 9 dead. Shitboy's now spotting Flashback here at A, nearly winning out on the fight. Let's get put down, Flashback coming over with that kill, but he's only got 15 HP, and Governor...
At this point, DRX have to be tilted. Talon are just popping up everywhere, finding holes in the defense. It's a mess. But even if Governor didn't go on a killing spree, just look at how much work DRX still had to do. Sage ended up resing Phoenix, who since he died got his run back, and Clove had their ult. Chain these reses together, and that's a total of 3 extra players that DRX would need to kill just in order to get on the board this game. Clove has their res, Phoenix has his, and because Governor went in a rampage last round, he now has his null command. This round's essentially a 5 versus 8, but wait, no way. It's been 10 rounds, and DRX are finally fighting the one area of the map that Talon oh so desperately need, mid. In their 1-3-1, they should catch Talon by surprise, since this part of the map has been butt naked all game. But I mean, against 3 extra lives, there's no shot DRX convert to Zico, right? The action starts quick, with double reconnaissance for Tree, and a disrespected bot mid-smoke.
His mouth in Korean.
No peeking.
Utilizing the Korean that he does know.
Yep.
As well, off the rip. Ban able to find one. Mako's going to take it down. Shitboy straight it out, but now does have the ult in play. Can he find a kill is going to be the question. Kind of backpedaling away. Foxy holding here within the site. And that is going to be Jitboy's bleeding out.
As soon as Clove pops their ult, it acts similarly to Raze a showstopper. You do not want to feed it kills. If you stall out and run away quick enough, it doesn't find a lot of value. Kind of. Because you're sprinting in the opposite direction, this opens up a lot of the map for Clove's team, like it's doing here. The entirety of mid gets parted like the Red Sea, and Clove tiptoes their way through Tree, trying to sell like it's safe to come out. But Jitboys can't find anyone. That's 1 extra life, and now it's Ban's turn. His ult, just like Clove's, creates a ton of space, as you don't normally want to fight this thing. I mean, unless you really need the map control, just wait it out. So he knifes out into heaven.
Another life coming in would run it back. It just doesn't stop.
Storming his way up in towards heaven.
That's their 2nd extra life, and their 3rd died alongside him. Okay, well, with 2 lives being burned on A, Talon are positive that most of the defense are here. They saw all 4 players at some point, so the offense pivot up in a market, Sage walls off spawn, but wait, why are you stopping?
Gonna take a lot to break through that wall.
Looking for a pump fake, actually. But now, with Ban take it down to the back end, it slows him up. It looks like Cruz considering moving his way back over in towards A. Surf, challenging, going to be taken down. Buzz, able to find that kill.
Okay, well, after using 2 reses like that, and pushing this deep with them, it's safe to assume that B is either stupid weak or even open. When these ults pop, normally the enemy team is going to run away and give you free space. Either they take an unnecessary fight, or back off. But I think Talon overcooked a bit here. I know Flashback used his neural theft, but with this many reses being popped, there's no way they couldn't have gone B, or even brute forced their way into A.
Extra money?
Oh, he's waiting for the wall to try to take some extra guns away from them. They're not reading this. There's the first one. Was down, swinging around. Cruz able to find the shots, but he just cannot get this plant. So the round will go the way of DRI. Left dead on the floor, but it's going to be a thrifty.
And he's still taking...
But hey, losing 1 round can't hurt, right?
Teets, you said that if Talon all go through one of these narrow choke points, they probably lose. You know, because they don't have a space maker.
Yeah, what about it, Timmy?
Well, can you show us around where they get dookied on?
Yeah, sure. So despite what the scoreline says, this comp isn't that crazy. Experienced players are going to know how to counter this lineup, especially in this current meta. Just buy an Odin or two and Talon would be in for a bad time. I mean, this is the only game they won with this comp. And now if Riot buffs the walls on this map, lineups like these would have a much higher win rate. But not only that, keeping good spacing and positioning in this comp is key. Remember back when KO and Clove were playing Leapfrog earlier in this video? Yeah, try coordinating something like that in your ranked games. Even pros have a hard time pulling stuff like this off. It isn't easy. And now Talon's game plan this round is simple. Apply pressure A, mid, and bank on rotates being dragged over so they can group up and hit B. Now DRX noticed that Governor has his null command active, so Cypher's playing back in spawn, but spreading his utility out across the map. From this position, if the offense go A, Omen can use his trips, but if they go B, I guess he's screwed? I don't know. There's a 4-stack here, but I think there's a piece missing to this setup. Because as the round starts, Foxy flings his knife into B main and immediately pivots back to A alongside Jet, who started top mid. With Cypher's camp posted on market and Bane on B main, the defense feel confident to stack A. This feeling is reinforced by Talon's initial 0 point and Arch's smoke and recon. Shortly after, Clove and Sage go for a high-low double peek behind Governor's flash once the one-way fades. Again, this looks like it would be a cat default into an A split, as this utility sequence should create a safe passage into this part of the map. But like we've seen before, this is a fake. Talon have taken mid enough to condition DRX into biting on their defaults. No one's here. The entire offense is instead grouping up towards B. As Clove and Sage make their way over, Cruz rips his drone, Phoenix flashes Bane back, and it's at this time Buzz gets suspicious. A's been pretty quiet. He knows what's coming next.
Oh no!
They're going to be watching for mid, and that makes things all the easier here for Talon.
Null command coming through. Hunter's Fury opened up a flashback, able to find one as Surf gets taken down. Flashback finding a second. Governor now on the floor. Flashback with a third. Chit Boys taken down. Manning here towards market door. Noted, dealt with. Mako able to find the kill.
30 seconds
Right now,
left.
And that's why space makers are taken for granted. You clear logs, boathouse, and pinch the site with your teammates. And normally, this person is a Jet, as she can clear everything instantly and make it in time as her teammates come out of lane. But here, KO went too early as Clove wasn't near him to trade this extra life, and Phoenix had no time to wrap site. Like I said, pulling off this comp successfully is a lot harder than popping your ults and just running it down. Now, not running a space maker is tough, but what about a Sova? Well, that's possible too. Just watch this video right here.